So, all three of you are 2-4 profiles. So, what that means is that all three of you are hermits and networkers, yeah? And so, consciously, you like to be in your own space, doing your own thing, and everybody else can just kind of floof off, yeah? And then sometimes you feel the need to go out and be with other people and party and network and communicate and talk to them and share and gossip and have all the people fun. But then after you're done with the people fun, it's time to come back home and do you. And the thing about twos is that it's like you're living on the first floor of a house with the windows open. You're just doing you, being natural, doing your thing, and you're all gifted in some natural way that you don't really think about. You know, you're not investigating it, you're just doing it naturally. And other people look at you, they're looking in the house and you in the window, and they're going, what are they doing in there? That's very interesting. I wish they would come out and show me, because that looks very interesting. But really, they're not seeing the whole picture like you are inside of your space doing your thing. You can see the whole shape of that room inside, whereas other people are really just projecting on you. And that is the key to remember, that when people look at you, they see a projection of what they're wanting to see. You know, they see a tiny slice of who you are, but they're not really seeing the whole thing. And so you kind of have to understand that about people, that they're not really understanding you, and in some ways you yourself are not really understanding you. Now, all three of you are generators, which means you all have sacral definition. So you're all meant to run on this motor that's here. And when someone says to you, what would you like for dinner? That's not the right question for you as generators. The right question is, would you like rice? Would you like chicken? Would you like vegetables? And then you can go, oh yeah, chicken, no. Vegetables, yeah, rice, no. Like that, yeah? So when you're in a restaurant, restaurants are built for manifestors. What would you like, sir? That's not the thing. The thing to do when you go in a restaurant is to say, what's good? What do you recommend? And when they say, oh, try the fish, you can go, yeah, the fish, or whatever, you know? Let's look at our emotional definitions here. Yours is undefined. Okay, so we have two who are undefined emotionally and one who is defined. So, the one who is defined, it is Caroline. You are setting the emotional tone of this room right now, and all the rest of us in this room are feeling something of your feelings. And the most important thing to remember when you are open emotionally is that your emotional wave is very small. You're just pretty chill throughout the day, but you're sensitive to the emotions of other people. So what tends to happen as emotionally undefined people is that we tend to avoid confrontations because we get the blowback from other people's emotions. So we can have a tendency to try to unconsciously manage other people's emotions because we feel them coming back on us. What can I do to make you okay? So that you don't make me un-okay, right? So it makes us avoid truth and confrontations. All three of you have head definition, but only Caroline has the ability to translate that into direct speaking. So the other two of you will experience that it's a little bit more difficult to explain what's going on in your head. You have a lot going on in your head, but you can't necessarily speak to it unless you're with just the kind of person who connects that electricity for you and makes it so that you can speak. So in the case of Gordon, you have an open throat, which means you are very sensitive to the way other people speak, but you will have a tendency, because that chakra does not have energy in it all the time, to gather energy there. And then as soon as you get with somebody, you're feeling all this energy, and you're like, whoa, let me speak, let me tell you, blah, 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 all the things. But your energy will work better because all the channels coming off of that, most of them, in your case, yes, they're projector channels, which means they're meant to be invited. And if you're asked to be invited before you speak, then your words will fall on soft ground, people will pay attention to you. Whereas otherwise you kind of go around with a feeling of, why am I not getting enough attention? Why isn't anybody paying attention to me? Where's my time to speak? Your time to speak is when you've been invited. And then, boom, you can have such a powerful effect on people. Otherwise, you're wasting your words. You might as well not. That's how it goes for people with open throats. Okay, I do want to talk a little bit about the future, since this is ostensibly what's going on in this talk. And I've learned so much about this through this year, starting to track the transits. So let me say, before we go any further, that anyone at all can go to 64 Keys. Let me make this as big as I can so that you can see it here. 64keys.com. This is a program made by a couple of Austrians, and they are giving away a huge amount of free information about human design. Several $100s worth of free information about human design that you are not finding on all human design websites. There's a lot of gatekeeping going on. These people are giving away a lot of it for free. You can go here, you can get a free account, and it will give you so much information about who you are. Let's take Arlene as an example here. So Arlene is the personal cross of tension. So Arlene is here to really hold the tensions of the community and help others find ways to control and manage them through her depth. That's what the cross of tension is about. But she can get much more information about that by coming here, and right off the front page, she can push each one of these numbers. The numbers on the right are conscious activations. So this is the imprint that we received upon our birth. And the orange numbers are our unconscious activations, what was imprinted on our bodies when the consciousness downloaded into the avatar inside of our mothers at approximately 6 months of age inside the womb. So then we had 3 months of the last bit of gestation, getting the consciousness aligned with the actual meat until we were born, and that was an important date for us as well. So all the things that you see in orange are happening unconsciously. So in the case of Arlene here, all of her connections are unconscious connections. So she's got a lot going on in her body, but she's not necessarily consciously aware of it. It's kind of like if you're looking at a map, the blue pieces that you see are roads. You see the roads, you see the traffic on the roads. But the orange pieces are like it's gone into a tunnel. You know traffic's going in there, you know something's going on, but you don't really understand the nature of it exactly. And knowing about that by looking at your chart can help you gain a lot of wisdom. So what this is meant to do is to show us what are our strengths. What were we born to do on this planet? Me, I was born to explain things. So you see me here doing what I do, explaining things, right? Well, we all have a different thing that we're meant here to do. And in studying the colored parts in our charts, we can come to see, oh, okay, these are my strengths. These are the skills I came in with. These are things I may not have recognized were a special part of me, but they most definitely are. Whether I was aware of them consciously before or not, now I can become aware of the things that were before unconscious, and then I can be them. And once we have the ability to be ourselves, instead of being stressed and conditioned into being someone we're not, which is what happens to us naturally in society. We've all had it, we've all done it, and it's our job to try to throw off that conditioning and find our individuality. And that's what human design can really do well, because it can say, oh, you have a split definition. Huh, okay, so that means you're gonna want, it's gonna feel, because of the electricity wants to find the shortest jump, yeah? So where those holes are, those are called bridging gates. And we're going to want to fill those ourselves because we feel the lack of them. And what design can show us is, oh, okay, I'm not meant to be having a bunch of ideas. I'm meant to be a storyteller who works off of other people's ideas. So you can release this idea of, I have to find the idea, I have to find the idea, I have to find the idea, and just be like, no, the idea will come, it's cool. I can worry about telling the good story. Yeah? Or here, this person has opinions, Arlene, but not attention to detail. So she will feel very strongly, if I could just get all the details, then when somebody comes to me and says, can you back that opinion up? You can say, why, yes, I can. But you don't have a gift for the details. You have a gift for bringing other people magnetically into your life, and they will have the details. And together you can talk about those details and form strong opinions that can inform and influence the future of our society, because this is logical circuitry. So this is about finding answers for the future. Now, back to transits, because that is where I wanted to go. Once you get into your free account, there's so much information here to look at, push all the buttons you can push, but the one that I really want to talk about today is this button right here, and it's called Transit. So what happens when you push that button is it pulls up a picture of the energy in the neutrino stream for the universe right now, right? That's over here on the right. You can see all the energies that are in the universe right now, and you can even push these buttons and it will give you a brief description of what all those energies are so that you can see what's going on. And then this is your design on the left, and then in the middle you will see a composite picture of how the universe's energy is influencing you right now. Now, the guy who received this information from the voice, he was on the island of Ibiza at the time, doing his own thing, fine, it's cool, whatever. And he had this big, he calls it a science fiction experience. I was like, that's a pretty good way to describe it. It was weird, it was, unusual. And then afterwards, he spent a bunch of time sitting by himself on this island and going, wow, my mind is blown in so many ways about all this information. What am I supposed to do with it? But he started putting it into action and experimenting with it. And he said he got to the place that he could feel the gates opening and closing in his body. He could feel these neutrino energies transiting in and out of his form. And when I heard that, I was like, I want to do that. That looks interesting. To have the sensitivity, to have the power over your own electricity, to know exactly when something is coming online and off, yeah? Well, I've been studying this for over 4 years, almost 5.
You still not there?
And no, I just started having it happen yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Was the very first time where I felt something in the environment and I was like, what's happening in the transit right now? I wonder. And I went and I pulled up the transit report and looked at it right now, and especially the moon, because the moon is what shifts the most often. Right now, we are in 10.1 modesty, to modestly accept one's place. Okay, fine, it's not a special thing, but in this version, I don't think this is in the free version, but in this version, and you can find exactly what's there, it'll tell you what's there, but this is able to actually say when a transit exactly begins. I don't know if you can tell off of this, but what you can see here is this red line is what we're looking at right now, and I would pull up the transit and the red line would just have passed through one of these gates. Because I had this feeling, and it just happened yesterday, so I don't have all the words to explain it yet to people. But what I've got, it's like a whoosh, it's like a whoosh, and then I have all kinds of new thoughts coming into my head. And I was just like, what is that, huh? And I looked it up. Sure enough, the transit had just passed, and I was like, oh, that's the 26th one that I just felt right there. That's my 26.1. Being activated by the universe and coming online. Fascinating. So I've started becoming more sensitive to this and checking the transits and looking, I just had a weird feeling. I wonder if that's actually coincidence. And it turns out I've been feeling this feeling for a long time. I didn't know. I thought it was like maybe something in my sinuses moving or something. No. Yes?
So that's like when my coworker would come in the morning and say something that he expected a reaction to, and I say something about it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes, actually, because what would happen is you might not get that throat connection. You don't have a throat connection. You might not get that throat connection until later in the day. If that coworker comes to you and their aura doesn't have exactly those bridging gates that get you connected to your throat, You might have a response, but in the moment it can't come out. Yeah? And then later on in the day, some transit will come, it will give you that energy, and all of a sudden, I know what to say to him now, kind of a thing, yeah. So what the transits do for us is they give us power over the future, because in looking at these transits, we can see the energy that's coming. Well, gee, what is it going to look like in my body tomorrow? Will I have throat definition tomorrow? I don't know. Let's see. And it'll bring up a whole list of charts. 12 days out. So you can see, oh, okay, tomorrow I do have the throat connected. The next day I do have it, okay, yes, 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 yes. Oh, but on the 29th, oh no, the 29th is still active. Yeah, so we're in a transit that's actually giving you throat activation all the way through at least the 4th of December. Good to know. So if you have things that you've been holding up inside of you in this time, it's good for you to work on getting them out. If you have a letter, if you have a proposal, if you have something, now's your time. And that is the power that the transits can give us on every level, moment to moment, all the way up to year cycles, month cycles, decade cycles, century cycles, or what we're in now, which is why the world is in such an upheaval, is because we're at the edge of a 400-year cycle. So we have the 400-year cross of planning ending, which is about building community structures and building skills and sharply focusing on things and being very, capitalistic and let's get it done, and I'm gonna bring the bacon and you're gonna feed the babies and we're gonna have a community and we're gonna be the same, into a very different energy, the energy of emotional abundance of all sorts, so that we no longer need to worry, because we're going to be able to be supported by our environments much more. And it's going to be about, how am I as an individual? Who am I? How can I do what's me and have my joy actually in the world? So now is the time for us to slough off the conditioning, to figure out who we actually are in our charts and our bodies. I usually have a bigger thing, but I did not do it well, and I forgot it. So we're dealing off my phone right now, but it's all right. You get the idea. And you can, of course, come talk to me individually for more information if you would like to have it. But in getting to know this, we can get to know what our skills are coming in. And then we can get to know the white parts and know these are the parts that have traditionally been stressing me because I'm not naturally good at them. I didn't understand them. When they came into my body, I thought maybe they were mine and I cherished them incorrectly. And then once you know who you are and you stop trying to be who you're not, then you can go back into the white areas and reclaim them, because we're all meant to be everything, just not all the time. We're meant to be gods on this planet, with the power of every one of our faculties working together so that every one of us is a specific piece of a puzzle that's meant to move us all forward together as one, to be a consciousness of an egg of consciousness, yes, that arises and realizes. And when we're working within love, when we're working together, we are actually scientifically and mathematically more streamlined, higher evolved. That's what we're here for, to figure out that if it's all about me and mine, you're not really getting the picture. It's not as efficient. Yeah? We're talking about entropy here. We can reduce our entropy by working together. It's that whole Amish thing of building a barn. Why is it so much easier for 10 people to build a barn in a day? That one person would take a year to build that barn. But you could build barns for everybody in 10 days and have it be done like that. That's the kind of efficiency that we're really needing to move towards, away from this ism of this kind or that kind, which is only meant to separate us so that we can be weak and squeezed for cash by some rich asshole on the top. Come on now, the time for that is over. The time is for us to release the things that can be done by computers to computers. Let AI do AI things, and we're meant to do the things that are just us, just ours. So we just have to, this is a hack. But the problem is that the game is so complicated that the hack is also a little bit complicated. And you gotta learn a little bit about what that hack is telling you so that you can know what kinds of things are there for you to do and what are there for you to draw in from other people to do, yeah? So we have here as an example, this person, this is Gordon, who has a split definition. Check this out. He's wired in the head to try to figure out confusion. It's all unconscious, so he's not really aware of what's going on, but this is what's going on inside of his body. He's trying to figure out in a very skeptical way. He's like, I don't know, it's all so confusing. I get these pictures, but they're not in order. I need to make sense of them. This is a big thing that's going on, but he does not have any way to connect to the throat. So in order for him to be able to speak about what's going on in his mind, he has to have somebody come in here and fill this entire channel. In fact, this is rare. You have an entirely open throat.
So what else?
So that means that you are very, very sensitive to speaking with other people the way they take on their patterns of speech. So when you're with me, you can connect to your mental processes through this main channel, and you can speak your truth, your individual I know. But when you go away, just thoughts are going around here, and they don't really get to the throat easily. And if you're choosing a partner to live with who does not complete this energy for you, you're going to have a hard time talking with that person. That's just the way that goes. So Humun Design is also really good for helping us figure out the people who should be our conditioning influences. What kind of energy are they giving me? Because there's really two different kinds. There's connections that we make for biological, reproductive, viability, for making good babies. And then there's people to be chosen for companionship. And those charts in interaction look really, really different. But until we know what we're doing in choosing people to be around us, we have a tendency to choose these biological connections because the biology is always there underneath going, let's get these people together in ways that are going to make strong babies. Well, none of us really need that right now. We need to be choosing our partners for people who are going to be aligned with our energy and focusing on the things that we on purpose want to focus on instead of just like accidentally, let's put genetics together, yeah? So that's very important. But the thing about this chart here is that this person is really going to feel very separated. This person is going to make decisions very slowly because it's a lot of different connections that have to be made to put these things together and to get all of this energy to the throat. That's not going to be easy to do. So this person needs to spend a lot of time with a lot of other people. You're going to feel like what's missing in you is actually somebody else's fault. Whereas somebody who has an easy split to bridge would think, oh, there's just a hole in me. If I can just be that one thing, then I can be connected. But of course, it's a misunderstanding of the energy as well. So this kind of person, I would recommend, spend a lot of time in public places, coffee shops, libraries, train stations, places where there's a lot of people that you don't actually have to pay attention to because the auras of all these people around will be much more likely to connect your circuitry so that all of it can flow in one long line and you can speak and you can think and you can write and you can have access to all the functions in your body. Otherwise, you have to wait for a very complicated kind of transit to come through to connect you. Look, the energy right now in the universe, let's see. Yeah, it's still not connecting you, even though all this energy is coming in. Now let's look at it this way. Yeah, here we go. See, you can see that right now, because of the transit, so the transit energy is the orange energy in your body. You're getting full definition in your integration circuitry right now. So that means that right now is a time for you to focus on integrating yourself. Self-empowerment is what this is about. So as long as this is filling in all these things for you, it's about how can I use my intuition to empower myself, to empower my voice, to empower my authentic behavior, and to empower the power of my body, my physical energy, to go out and be busy about my business. But it still doesn't connect to the throat. So you're getting the, here we are, the 62, attention to detail. So right now you can look and pay attention to these details, and right now you can receive insights about these details, but still no active connection is being made. Although I suspect with all the people here, yeah, you are actually getting full connection to your throat right now, just from the auras of the people in this room. But it's a wonderful thing to sit and look at. What kind of energies are being given to me right now? And you can plan your future about those kinds of energies. But even with all of us, all of us are gonna definitely connect your body one way or another. But one person being able to make all those connections, it's not super likely. So it's not super likely that just one person is ever really going to make you fully happy. You're gonna need a lot of other people in your environment. You're gonna need to work not by yourself sitting at a computer, but in a place where there's lots of people getting around. Hello, are you interested in human design, or am I getting kicked out here?
No, I'm not kicking out. That's it.
Come, welcome. So, transits give us power over the future. That's the short story of that. And I do have a YouTube channel where I'm talking about the transits all the time, and you can look into the histories of the transits where I'm talking about day by day the energy. Today we're looking at this gate and this line, and here's the information for that. I have a code that you can just wink on your phones, and it'll take you directly to my website, which has a link to the YouTube channel and also tells you much more about me and who I am and what I'm doing and all my freaky jolly weirdness. And you can come and see me talk about the things that are going on, because I liken it to being a Sherpa. I'm an expert in human design, so there's a ton of information out there, and I really don't want to spend my life explaining the level 1 basics all the time. I've done it, it's boring. I want to do it on a recorded place where everybody can have access to that basic information in the whole world. Okay, you don't hire a Sherpa to get you from your front door to the base of the mountain. No, you can get to the base of the mountain by yourself, and then the Sherpa can help you to the top. So I can teach you the basics of human design, but I'm a little bit too expensive for taking you from your front door to the base of the mountain. You can go to 64 Keys, get yourself a free account, and get yourself a ton of information by yourself to get you to the base of the mountain, to understand all the things that you can understand for free, and write down questions, and then come to me with those questions and say, okay, I saw these things. The most important things when you're looking at that information on 64 Keys is to see what does not resonate. What do you look at and you go, no, that doesn't sound like me at all. That's where we begin, my friends. And I can tell you from experience, because I had one gate. Everything else I read in my chart, I was like, oh yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely that's me. Yes, that is me. And then I got to this one, which was about waiting and sitting still and doing rituals. And I was just like, no. I'm not meant to sit around and wait. Rituals? I sloughed that off with religion. No! It took me years to discover, oh yes. And once I did, boy, did my energy start moving a little bit better, and I started figuring out what exactly was going on in this mess. And I stopped being so much of a chaos bunny, which is what we manifesting generators have a tendency to do, because we have in our bodies motored energy connected to the throat. So that motor, whenever you connect it to the throat, it wants to act, it wants to go, it wants to do right now, go. So the world is trying to teach us to be manifestors, and we have this ability to be manifestors, so we're like, all right, let me do this. I would go out on the road and I would go, hey you, I have so much information for you. I can make such a difference in your life. And these people would just be like, lady, I don't know you. I didn't ask for you to talk to me. Get away, right? It's this channel of genius to freak. So I was going out there and being this freak and really being rejected for what I had. But when I come here, every single one of you has given me, by your presence, an invitation to speak. Now my words fall on the soft ground and I can make an impact, yeah? So it doesn't matter that I have throat definition. I also must wait for the invitation. So no matter how much I know about somebody, if they haven't said, and what do you think about it? It's not my job to tell them. And as a manifesting generator, I have to pull those reins and go, nope. I am meant to act in response. I am a generator. I'm a generator that can work fast. I can deep dive and get some shit done. I can drink from the fire hose. But until I am asked, do you want to do that? My partner spent years going, on the reins. Hold it back. Come on now. Sit down. Respond. Wait. And he's absolutely right when he's doing that. He's wrong about other things, but he's right about that. So, transits give us the power of the future. That's the long and short. Yeah? You want to know more? Come on over and see me sometime. I am the Jolly Alchemist.
Yeah.